China announced the closure of the U.S. Consulate General in Chengdu City on July 24th, in retaliation for the U.S. closing of the Houston Chinese Consulate General on July 21st. Relations between the U.S. and China deteriorated quickly, the lowest they have been since 1979. On July 24th, the Chinese military made a high-profile announcement that from July 25th to August 2nd, live ammunition target practice will be carried out to the west of the Leizhou Peninsula off the coast of Guangdong and Guangxi. The notice also stated that this targeting covers a wide area with powerful ammunition. Do not go to sea without permission. Analysts believe that the Chinese Navy's target practice is a response to recent U.S. military activities in the South China Sea. The U.S. Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group and the Japanese and Australian navies held joint military exercises in the South China Sea and the Philippine waters from July 19th to the 23rd. On July 20th, the Indian Navy also conducted passing exercises with Carrier Strike Group 11 in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Indian Ocean. As relations between China and the United States deteriorate, the possibility of war grows more likely every day. One cannot help but question the true combat capabilities of the People's Liberation Army. Can they really take on the U.S. military? There are many factors that determine the combat effectiveness of an army, such as the commander's decisions, equipment quality, training conditions, logistical support, and morale, with the quality of the officers being a decisive factor. The Chinese army has always been mysterious and is also rarely understood by the public as not a lot of information is published. In this video, we will take a look at the unspoken rules and regulations of Chinese military generals and use them to assess the combat effectiveness of the Chinese military.
Officials at all levels of the Chinese military constitute a large bureaucracy that is more corrupt than the average system of local administrative officials. In January 2013, Transparency International, an international anti-corruption organization, ranked the Chinese Communist Party's People's Liberation Army as a high risk for corruption, the most corrupt of any military in the world. In less than 8 years, between the 18th National Congress of the Communist Party of China from November 2012 to July 2020, 98 generals were stripped of their power due to corruption, including 6 generals, 13 lieutenant generals, and 79 major generals. Since the exact number and the list of China's active duty generals is considered confidential information, no official data is available to the public. According to the public's estimate, however, the PLA has 38 generals, 120 lieutenant generals, and 800 major generals, not including the 98 who were investigated for corruption. Approximate estimates of the proportion of generals, lieutenant generals, and major generals who were stripped of power due to corruption are General 15.8%, Lieutenant General 10.8%, and Major General 9.8%. It is important to note that the CCP's military is composed of many factions, and almost all officers are corrupt. Most of the officers who lost power were the ones that lost their political battles. There are 3 essential reasons for the corruption of military officers. First, no corruption means no promotion. Corrupt officers do not want to be set off against people of integrity and honesty, creating a contrast. It is difficult to move up the ranks if you are the only one that is upright and against corruption. Second, superiors use subordinates to collect money. If subordinates are not corrupt and cannot fulfill their superiors' wishes, then naturally they will fall out of favor with their superiors and won't be in office for too long. Third, corruption at the lower levels is also intentionally condoned by the higher levels. Giving benefits and delivering money to the higher ranks can later be used against them by their superiors, making it easier for the higher levels to control the lower levels. This interlocking and complex relationship leads to overall corruption. The rules of promotion for officers determine the standard of the group as a whole. Officers are also vital to the formation of a military culture, which in turn affects the Army's style and combat effectiveness. There are several ways to get promoted in the Chinese officer system. The first method, use money to buy ranks. This method makes up for most of the promotions in the Chinese officer system. Different positions have unspoken rules for the price, starting from 20 million won for a lieutenant general, 10 million won for a major general, 5 million won for a colonel, and even enlisting as an ordinary soldier will cost at least 10,000 won. If the soldier's military branch is good, the most expensive will be over 100,000 won, or 14,000 USD. The purpose of those who spend money on becoming officials is not to defend the country, but to seek rewards. Once they become an official, they are determined to take back the money they've spent, or even in hopes to get a better return by selling other positions, rank by rank, to those below them. Guo Baksan, a former vice chairman of the Central Military Commission of the CCP, had embezzled a particularly large sum of money. An open letter from informed cadres writing to President Xi and a party central committee reveals that the source of Guo's corruption revenue was not only the profit from buying and selling officials' positions and land, but also a staggering amount of rebate from the purchase of weapons and equipment and ammunition for the entire military. Huge sums of military money have long been in the pockets of Guo Bakshung's family, and informed sources revealed that Guo family has at least 100 billion won. Guo Bakshung's son, Major General Guo Zhanggang, even arrogantly threatened, "Half of the generals in the Chinese army were trained and promoted by my family." The second method, descendants of the red nobilities. These people were born into powerful communist families and possessed the natural conditions for promotions. The CCP places power in the hands of these people that makes the party feel truly assured. Whether or not these people have real talent, it is easy for them to become generals. Zhang Yushai, the current vice chairman of the CCP Central Military Commission, and his father, Zhang Zhongsun, were generals in the PLA. Liao Wan, former political commissioner of the logistics department of the Chinese Communist Army, whose father was Liao Shaoqi, former president of the Chinese Communist Party. Mao Xinyu, one of the youngest major generals in the army, is the only grandson of Mao Zedong and holds the position of deputy head of the Department of War Theory and Strategic Research of the Academy of Military Sciences of the PLA. Mao received his PhD in the direction of Mao Zedong's military thought from the Chinese Academy of Military Sciences in July 2003. He enjoys media appearances and inscriptions everywhere. It is widely believed that his handwriting is not as good as that of an ordinary schoolboy. Mao Xingyu is also a representative of the Red Generations and the subject of public ridicule. Third method, special promotions. Those who have special relationship with the top leaders of the CCP are given high military ranks. Peng Liyuan, the current First Lady of China and wife of the Chinese Communist Party's General Secretary Xi Jinping, is a singer and national-level actress who receives a special government allowance from the State Council. In 2009, she became the head of the song and dance troupe of the General Political Department of the PLA, and in 2012 she became the director of the PLA Academy of Arts with the rank of Major General. Song Zuying, the mistress of former Communist Party General Secretary Jiang Zemin, was promoted to the rank of Major General after she established an illicit relationship with Jiang Zemin, the former General Secretary of the Communist Party Central Committee. With Jiang's support, Song became a national-level actress, a recipient of the State Council's Special Government Allowance, a member of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, an executive committee member of the All China Women's Federation, a member of the All China Youth Federation, and a director of the Chinese Musicians Association. Zhang Xiaojun, Xi Jinping's personal secretary, has no military experience. But because of Xi Jinping, Zhang also ranks among the generals and was promoted to lieutenant general in December 2019. In a similar situation to Zhang, there is also Jia Tian'an, former secretary of Jiang Zemin, who was promoted to general in July of 2011. Tang Can, known as Public Mistress, has been reported to have had affairs with several senior officials at the rank of colonel. The Pan-Chinese website reported that Tang Can's illicit relationship level is unprecedented, including former CPC Standing Committee and Secretary of the Political and Legal Committee Zhao Yongkang, former CPC Central Military Commission Vice Chairman General Xu Kaihao, former PLA General Logistics Department Vice Minister Lieutenant General Gu Zhushan, and others are on the list. On her bed, Tang Can weave a vast network of relationships and have immense power. The widespread corruption of the Chinese military began when Jiang Zemin came to power in 1989, where he strongly advocated the suppression of the pro-democracy student movement and was favored by Deng Xiaoping, then chairman of the Central Military Commission of the CCP, who became General Secretary of the CCP and later took over the chairmanship of the CCP's Central Military Commission. Jiang Zemin, who had no military experience and was recognized as a rogue scum in the bureaucracy, had no appeal in the military and many officers looked down on him. In order to control military power, Jiang rallied officers to take orders from him and began to indulge in extensive business ventures and corruption in the military. In September 1998, at a national anti-smuggling conference, then-Premier Zhu Rongji revealed that 800 billion won were smuggled into the country each year, in which the military smuggled at least 500 billion. Taking tax evasion as one-third of the payment for the goods, the military evaded 150 billion worth of tax. Jiang also promoted his close aides, Gu Baxiang and Xu Kaihao, as vice chairman of the Communist Party's Central Military Commission, serving as his own spokesman in the military and gradually used corruption as a means to control the military. As a result, corruption in the military has become increasingly rampant and uncontrollable. The behavior of generals in the army has a huge impact on the army's combat power. A corrupt army is as vulnerable as rotten wood, where it collapses at the first blow. If you are interested in our channel and other topics we discuss, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted when new videos are released. Thanks for watching.